All right, I'm gonna show some records.
All right. Oh, that's a great sign to leave. I'll see you guys later.
All right, I'll be quick. I'm just gonna start with the.
Wait. Before you show it, Mike, can we take bids on how many times this record might have been shown before?
You've definitely seen it. I put it on Instagram. So this one I was really happy to get. You know, I was watching Whatcom Brown Jazz Vinyl, and he mentioned another record by him. So I started looking into his discography. All this stuff is kind of expensive, but I found one for fairly affordable. This is that Dave Bailey one, One Foot in the Gutter on Epic. This is the first Epic record I have, and it sounds like beside the music is really excellent, but the sonics on it are great. So this got me looking in Epic as like a catalog, and there's a lot of like kind of really expensive stuff, and there's a lot of stuff I'm not interested in. But I did find, well, actually, before I move on to the next one, this is the one that has Clark Terry trumpet, Curtis Fuller trombone, Junior Cook tenor sax, Horace Parlin piano, and then Peck Morrison bass with Dave Bailey on drums. And it's a great one. Highly recommend streaming it. It's so good. Love this. Yeah, I'm like obsessed with it. So I then was looking at Epic as a label, and I found this Horace Silver one from 1956. And this has Horace Silver and Hank Mobley on it. And then the rhythm section kind of switches up. I guess it was a couple sessions, but it's Horace Silver, Hank Mobley, and then
they were part of the original Jazz Messengers, man.
Art Taylor drums, Kenny Clark drums, Donald Byrd trumpet, and Joe Gordon, who I have a Joe Gordon record on Contemporary that's really excellent. So he's on a couple tracks too. And this is a mono, and I definitely recommend checking. I haven't listened to this yet. It just came in when I was out, but I think these Epics are like really excellent sound quality. So I don't know if anybody here has an experience.
Who mastered them? I mean, engineered them.
Let's see if it says here. I don't think it says on the liner notes. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that a little more. But yeah, so this one is from 1960, and I think this is 56. So
who's the leader in One Foot?
What's that?
Who's the leader in the One Foot record? The first one.
That's Dave Bailey. So he's a drummer, and he has like 6 or 7 lead records, and he has all of his records are pretty expensive, but he has 2 records on Jazz Time, and those are like $1,000+ records. And one of them is called Bash. I don't know if anybody knows this one, but it has an incredible lineup. So it's Dave Bailey, Kenny Dorham, Curtis Fuller, Frank Haynes on tenor sax, who I don't know, Tommy Flanagan piano, and then Ben Tucker bass. And that's a cool one. But that one, I'll never get that one. So those are 2 Epics. And then I also got 2 Booker Irvins. So, every time I'm on the live stream, I talk about Carmel Jones. So he is sideman on this one. So
yeah, I want that one.
So this is like a 70s one. It's not an OJC, but it's one Fantasy bought them.
Yeah,
so they put it out. And I think it sounds excellent. And I know that like London Jazz Collector kind of dogs on these pressings, but I think it sounds like I'm really happy with this.
Is that a Van Gelder? Because typically the early ones
no, but some of them are. This is this is not. And it has like an original jacket, so they were definitely using like overstock jackets. And then they pressed it, but I think it sounds very good. I don't have anything to compare it against, but I'm very happy with it.
I mean, London Jazz Collector shits on everything that's on.
I know. I feel like And then I got this other Booker Irvin on Prestige again with Carmel Jones. I think this one I like this one a little bit better, but it's so I'm getting more into Booker Irvin, and I know like his later stuff he gets a little out there. So I'm kind of excited to continue looking for his stuff.
There's a couple of Booker Irvins in the Prestige series, right? The AP Prestige series?
Yeah, I have 2 of them. I think there might be 4.
Yeah, and I didn't buy them because I couldn't get them all, and I'm kind of they're sold out now.
Yeah,
I think there's 3. I think there's 3 altogether, so there might be another one coming. Yeah. And then this one's also on the 70s, and these are So I got this for $22 plus shipping, and then this one I forget. I think this one was a little more expensive.
I agree with you, man. All the 70s Prestiges I have on the Green Label sound fine.
Yeah. So you know, the originals of those are like $200 records, so it was really a big difference in price. And then just to round it out, this is what I picked up in Canada. So this is Storyville. It's Hui. Does anybody know this record? I've seen this posted in like the Facebook groups like once or twice, so it caught my eye. And it's an old record. I think it's from like 56 or something. But it's got Bob Brookmeyer on valve trombone, which is, I mean, I like Bob Brookmeyer, plus valve trombone is like my favorite trombone. And then it has Zoot Sims quartet, I think. So
there's more than one trombone.
There's a valve. So a valve trombone is like a trumpet trombone. So like you can, I guess it's speedier, but it still has like the round trombone sound. As a layperson would describe it, I'm sure someone else can do that better. But yeah, like Curtis Fuller plays a valve trombone on some of the Savoy stuff, and he like rips like he's Lee Morgan. Like it's incredible stuff.
So
I
they're
love
not using the slide. Is that what it is?
Not
Right,
yet.
not
That's exactly right. They're not using the slide.
Okay.
So then Zoot Sims has a quartet on here. So it's Zoot, Joe Jones.
Would you
Papa
say
Joe?
that Bob Brookmeyer's having a tromboner while he's playing it?
Absolutely.
And I would not say that. Hank Jones. Hank Jones is what? Piano? Hank Jones?
Oh my God! How dare you? It's so offensive.
Whatever. How many Joneses are there? Hank Jones, Philly Joe
You
Jones,
know what? I
Joe
think
Jones.
you just.
Sam
I think
Jones?
when you were up in Canada, you made that cover and made up the record.
And yeah, I got all like the stuff. But
Valve
this is on
trombone.
this is on Storyville. It's my first Storyville, and I had him play it in the shop, and it sounded great. So really, and the style of music, it's like, I don't know, like I love this kind of style of music. It's like just like straight ahead, like cool bop or something. So it's fun. I mean, the solos are so good. It swings, and yeah, this is a great one.
You know what's interesting too with Storyville? They've been putting out a shit ton of reissues. Though I haven't bought any of them.
Well, you know, I don't know
Okay.
if they're the same label. It's a European label, right?
I think they're
I
Storyville,
don't think this one
Storyville
is.
Records
I
though.
don't think I don't know if they're the same label. Do you?
They may not be.
Yeah, I think they are. I don't know.
'Cause
Well,
they have
anyway,
different
I don't know.
covers.
I don't
It's
know.
like there's a Bud Powell one I see all the time. Yeah, I think they're a European label. I think if Nicole's still around, she might have picked up a few of those and knows more than we do.
Well, maybe.
And on one of the songs, Zoot Sims sings. He does like a little like backup vocal. It's the first time his vocals
Could you
captured.
Can you do a little bit of it, please?
me. No, I cannot do it. All right.
I mean, what is he doing?
Hey,
Is he sounding
yeah.
like Chet Baker or something?
Yes, he does.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it's not like exactly, but when I heard it, I was like, he sounds like how Chet Baker is singing. Like it's a similar style.
You know, Chet
It's
Baker
cool.
in the 50s was like just the total penny dropper, man.
Oh, for sure. He was the whole James Dean thing.
Now, here's a good question. Easy Now 27 needs our advice. When I get a girlfriend, finally, should I tell her jazz is my favorite genre of music?
Absolutely.
Elliot is.
All right, one more record. That's a lie, but I'm going to show one more right now. This is the other one I picked up in Canada. So why I really like this one is that it's Canadian pressing.
Rachel would approve of this.
Is it the Bob and Doug
So-
McKenzie? Oh no.
I mean the jacket's beat up, but this is all about Ronnie, and I saw this because I don't know if you can see, but it is a Savoy, and then like all Savoys, they have Kenny Clark on drums, and they have Wendell Marshall on bass. So I knew those guys, so I pulled this out. I gave it a listen on YouTube, and the music sounded fantastic. So this was the one record I got out of like the stack, and it was a good price. I think I paid like 17 Canadian dollars, and it's a Canadian pressing. It's on London Savoy. So why it's London Savoy is, it's RBG stamped. So like they got the stampers. I don't know if they just shipped up records and just relabeled them or labeled them in the US or whatever, but it's London Savoy because I guess London, the label, and Savoy put it out together. But Ronnie Ball's on piano, and he was a student of, I think it's Lenny Tristano. And he swings hard on this. Like he comes in on that first solo, and it's just beautiful to listen to. Really good. Willie Dennis on trombone plays with Mingus. He's on some Mingus records and a bunch of other stuff too, but that was one thing I remembered. And then Ted Brown is tenor, and I forget what he's on, but he's on a bunch of stuff too. I wasn't familiar with any of these three guys, but they have like really great credentials, and regardless of that, it's a really cool sounding record. I love it.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite pickup. So
Ted Brown did a lot of. You can find like his most recent stuff. I think was on like a Crisscross label, maybe
Okay.
on CD stuff. But he's a pretty well known guy.
He's a hell of a running back for NC State and the Minnesota Vikings too, if you remember.
So it's happy with this one, and it's RVG stamped. So I got to give it a listen to see how it is, but I'm sure it's great. It's from like I don't know 58, give or take a year.
I always think of Jump Blues when I think of Savoy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They did a lot of Jump Blues in the 40s and 50s.
They have a lot of good stuff. They have a lot of bop and hard bop. That's really
Is that
good.
masking tape? They're
No.
Yeah, or I don't know. It looks like it's like painter's tape almost. So
well, that masking tape falls off half the time if it's super old.
I tried to, but you know what? I don't even want to mess with it. I don't mind it. I feel like the cover's
Yeah,
fine.
Gives
I
a
feel
care.
like I've got. It's always nice to have a good cover, but I mean, I'm happy with this. And the price, like, there's one on Discogs, a Canadian pressing, for like $100 right now. I paid like $15 for this US, so I'm so
I'll give you
happy to have it.
$7.50 for it right now.
And the US pressing is expensive as well. I think it's like the cheapest one. I think was like 60, and it goes up, for a lot more money. So it's good. And what's cool is like I never even knew about this. I never even seen it, and I've like looked. I look online at Savoy all the time. I've never seen this, so it's just fun to.
There's a record store over. I'm gonna try to go over in Dallas called. I don't remember the name of it. It's a big record store, Josie Records. They have a really for Dallas. They have a really nice new release section for jazz, but then they have a really big section of just the records just in their sleeves, no outer sleeves, none of that bullshit. I want to go dig through all their shit next week, I think, because I think I'm gonna be able to find some cool stuff.
Yep. All right, and then two more records really quick. Just to talk about.
Yeah, great. Sure.
All right, so this isn't. These are both Argo actually. So let me share my screen. One of them will have familiar face for sure. Really happy to get it. This is a Night at the Village Vanguard. I'm usually not into Kenny Burrell's stuff so much. I always say I like him as I like my Grant Greens and Kenny Burrell's as sidemen, Wes Montgomery's as sidemen. I generally just like a little bit of guitar. So, but this is kind of the exception for real. So it's just him, bass, and drums at the Village Vanguard, and it's great. The drummer on it is who is it? It's Richard Davis bass and Roy Haynes on drums.
Oh yeah, man, come on.
And and they rip. They're really good. So happy to get this one. There's a reissue of this on Cadet that you can get for cheap. So if you're interested in this, has different cover, but it's the same record. And this is a promo copy.
I swear Richard Davis just like brings like this street cred to any record he's on. I don't know.
Yeah. So this was a good one. And then another Argo, which this I was literally just searching. It came up and I was like, what is this? This is Mike, let me know if you've heard of this. This is Gene Shaw. Do you know Gene Shaw?
Whoa, what's that?
So
I've heard of it, but I've heard of that, but I have not heard it.
So Gene Shaw, he played under a different name with Mingus. Is something I forget what his name was, but he had apparently the story is like they had a big fight.
Yeah. Oh God.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know which one. I'm trying to think of the album session.
His name's not Gene Shaw. It's something.
No.
Shaw.
Yeah, it's I don't want to say Arabic or something like that, but
Hold on, I'll get it here. I'll get it. Google
yeah,
search.
he's one of those players that Mingus bullied and basically he drove him away.
I think his name was Clarence Shaw.
Yeah, that's right.
And he came back and he put out I think like 3 albums for Argo, and this one I like a lot, and it was one of the more his stuff's kind of expensive.
What kind of style is it?
This is like maybe like bop, post bop style. It's pretty. It's like I can put this on and my wife won't like protest. So
Sure.
you know,
Oh, cool.
Who else on that?
Crazy.
Who
I
else on
haven't
that?
heard of him. I got to check that out immediately.
I highly recommend it. This is like the most fun
Any
stuff.
trumpet players I don't know about, I
When you
know.
find stuff that's like killer that like you've never seen anybody talk about before, and or at least I've
Yeah.
never noticed anybody talking about them. So this is personnel.
You know,
So here it says personnel Clarence Eugene Shaw. So I guess that's where Dean comes from. Eugene. Trumpet is Sherman Morrison, which I don't know who, like I've never heard of him. Tenor sax is James Taylor. Piano is Sidney Robinson. Bass is Bernard and no, I'm sorry, I'm messing all this up. Sidney Robinson's bass, James Taylor's piano, Sherman Morrison's tenor sax, and then Bernard Martin is drums. So I don't really know any of these guys, but go give it a stream because it's great. And yeah, so this was just a cool one.
the Mingus recordings that he would be on are the East Coasting sessions. I think they're gonna re-release the East Coasting album soon.
Yes.
But Clarence Shaw is on those recordings.
Oh, so that's a Bethlehem. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like you bought the only copy that's available, Mike. So thanks for
Oh,
that.
sorry.
It's like
Just
no
wait.
copies on
Yeah.
Discog.
You got to get
It's
your,
on-
you
it's
gotta
on
get your
YouTube.
searches and then search it, in the morning and search before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And then when it pops up, grab it.
Mhm.
Or you could live a normal life. All right, I have something. to
Jazz
show.
Records. Come on, man.
All right, you guys can make fun of me because of. All right, let me just make myself big.
Because of what?
Because I got a 7-inch, and when I get
Raggy.
when I get a 7-inch, I make my own little cover for it. So Felipe recently got this Benny Green's Soul Stirrer in the 12-inch, and so I was listening to it, and it has the song "We Want to Cook." I know how familiar you guys are. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Benny Green, but on every single one of his records, he has vocals on it. And they're usually just like backing vocals just for like a couple bars.
Oh.
And then, maybe in the beginning of the song and the end of the song of one track. So We Want to Cook is one of those. And he's so good. Like, I feel like I put him in the camp of like Jimmy Smith, where it's like party music. It's just fun party music.
Yeah.
So I got this for $10. It's from whenever the record came out, like 57 or something. And it's RVG stamped.
Oh.
It was $10, and I got 2 tracks of the record right here. And I've been really kind of looking into 45s recently.
Did you see what's his name?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great video.
So he got me to buy 3 more, so I got them coming up. But I'm like all about it. I know people like one of the big criticisms. I was reading the comments of that video. For those who are watching and don't know, Welcome Brown Jazz Vinyl did a whole like 30-minute video on his 45 Blue Note 45 collections. And he talks about like these ones where it's like songs from LPs, but then he talks about 45s that weren't part of LPs, and you can only get them as 45s. So like Ike Quebec and like Sonny Clark and I think John Coltrane, they all have like 45s that are separate from LPs.
Meg made a shit ton of them, right?
Yeah, and he also made like a ton for jukeboxes too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because a Mosaic had released all the Ike Quebec 45s
Yes.
on CD.
Yeah.
I don't think
That's a dilemma for me because I don't collect 45s, but my
And I
my dad passed away. I've got a jukebox down in San Antonio that I'm debating on whether we sell it in the estate seller or just like I bring it home or not, and it's full of all this stuff he filled it with. But if I can find a place to put that damn thing, it'd be super cool to have just a bunch of jazz 45s in there,
So if you read the liner notes on this LT series, this is a compilation of his 45s.